Great, let's wrap up the word section by running a mail merge. Now, the idea of a mail merge, first of all, before I even look at the question, is sometimes poorly understood. And I think if you don't understand it, I think it just makes the whole task that much more difficult, as is in most cases. Okay, the idea with a mail merge is that what we would try and do in a situation like that is to have a standard document that we want to send to everyone, but there are little bits that might change from person to person. For example, their name, their address, that type of thing. Now, we don't want to have to go and type out, if we've got a couple of hundred letters to send out, and we don't have to go and retype the same letter to a couple of hundred people when there's only a little bit that's changing in it, particularly if we've got that data stored somewhere. For example, let's just say the headmaster wants to send out a letter to all the grade 12 parents. This would secretary doesn't want to have to retype letters for every single grade 12 child when she's got that information. And if she could just somehow merge that information about the details of the individual parents with the standard part of the letter, it would make life that much easier. And that's the idea of a mail merge. So here's a letter going out to probably some cyclists or something like that, and we've got their name and surname somewhere, and we might as well just use the power of the mail merge and the fact that we can link to other data sources, and that data source can be a spreadsheet, a database, it can even be a table in Word, though it's more often a database and a spreadsheet. Is that we can then go and link to that data and get the data to be automatically inserted and the letters to be automatically generated. So all we do is type one letter and we say this is where we want the information to go, these are the records we want, just compile the letters for me, and that's it. It's absolutely amazing, really. And so let's actually see what they wanted in this particular question. Use the current document, that's what we're doing, and use the query called query merge in the database as a data source. In other words, I've got a database already. I'm going to go into that and have a quick look at it to check that it's there, and there is a merge in I'm going to run the merge quickly, and you can see there's some data in there that I'm going to use. So in other words, some of that information, some of those people are going to have letters sent to them. Okay, and it can be a table, it can also be a query, as in this case it's the query. So we actually don't step out of Word at all. We stay in Word and we can conduct everything from here. So the first thing is we need to kind of link to this database. Okay, and it's going to go to all the female riders who've paid in at least 40 Rand. At least 40 Rand. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight that, at least 40 Rand, and sort the records alphabetically. Sort the records alphabetically. Okay, but first of all we need to somehow say to Word this is where the data is coming from, and then we're going to need to tell it that we only want the females who've paid at least 40 Rand, and we want to put them all alphabetically. Well, we don't want to do it, we want Word to do it. Let's see how that's going to work. Okay, so what we do is we go up here and we go to mailings, and you'll see we can start our mail merge, and there are various options that you can have here. You can choose letters, you can choose labels. In other words, you can print to labels that would be printed onto automatically, like that you could run through a printer, and you could obviously just stick them on the outside of an envelope, all sorts of things like that. I want to use a letter, so I'm going to stick with the letter option. I want to now select my recipients. I don't have to type a new list because I've already got them. Right, where are they? Okay, I've cunningly hidden them all over my computer, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time trying to find that. You'll obviously do it a lot quicker than I will because you're a bit smarter than me. I think I've put it onto the desktop. And I've put my database in here. Yes, I have. And now there are a whole lot of things I can use from the database, all sorts of tables and they say they want me to use the query merge. Okay, so that's the query merge, and now edit the recipient list. Okay, I only wanted female first of all. So what I can say is here under gender, I can say that I only want female, and under paid in I can go to advanced. I can say gender there is equal to female, and paid in, they said at least 40, if you could remember correctly, greater than or equal to 40. Okay, so that's sort of further limiting the number of people that I'm going to send these letters to. Oh, and they also wanted them sorted. So I'm going to sort them by surname and then by name. Click OK. And you can see now it's going to those females who've paid in at least 40 Rand. In fact, they all seem to just be 40, but anyway. And it's sorted alphabetically. Okay, so the letters could go to those people. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. Now I need to say to Word is where must this information go? And I'm going to take my comment out because it's getting annoying me a little bit. I'm going to say right. Where are the fields that I want? I want to insert a merge field. I want to insert the name there. Okay, and I'm going to put in a space, and I also want to insert the merge field for the surname. Now if you click on that, you'll see there fields. That's just saying to Word, okay, when you get that information from the database, pluck the name in there and stick the surname in there for me. And if there was anything else that needed to go below it, we could put it in there as well. Okay, now there was a little check that I needed to go back here. We've done that, we've done that. Now save the document. Now that's important, is that and it'll normally be an instruction in the exam, is to save the document first. Because what's going to happen now is we're going to run the mail merge and it's going to create a whole brand new document. You don't want to lose your original document that you've been working on. Okay, so I'm going to save it and then I'm going to run the mail merge for the first 2 people on the list only. Okay, let's just see what that's about. Okay, I can preview my results too if I want to, just to see that everything's looking okay. But in the end, I want to finish and merge, and I want to edit the individuals, and I want the first 2. So I'll just say normally I would say all if I wanted them all. I would say just the first 2 I want to send them to, for whatever reason that might be. And there we go, there's a separate letter for read beside note, and there'll be another letter, yours in cycling, and there's another letter there for Louisa Bickel. Okay, and if we'd said all, each one of them would have got the same letter, just with their name added. It's a fairly lengthy process, so just remember that you always start in Word, and you kind of work from left to right. So you say start the mail merge, select your recipients. In other words, you go to the spreadsheet or the database, and whatever they ask you to go to, it's a query or whatever it happens to be, you edit the recipient list. In other words, you can choose if you want only the females. You might want the whole list, in which case you don't have to put in any criteria. And then we inserted the merge fields, and then we went and finished the merge. Please remember to finish the merge. So many times people just preview it and they just have one letter in there when they should have had maybe 6 or 7 different letters, depending on what was required. Okay, so lengthy but straightforward in the end, and a whack of marks in your pocket.